The broken girl rain fell like cold needles on the metal streets of Zarnuk City. Lights flickered. The air smelled of rust and burned wires. In the middle of a dirty sidewalk, under a broken neon sign, stood a girl, thin, quiet, and alone. Her name was Lara. She was not human. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes silver like a mirror. But most of all, people noticed something else. Her missing leg. A long scar ran across her right thigh, ending where her leg used to be. She stood on one leg, leaning on a metal pole. Around her neck hung a cardboard sign. For sale, one leg missing, still alive. People passed by, some laughed. Some looked away. No one stopped. She had been standing there for 3 days. Lara was from the Chiron race, a people known for strength, speed, and perfect bodies. When she lost her leg in a mining explosion, her people threw her out. Broken things are not Chiron, they said. Even her own family closed the door on her face. But Lara didn't cry, not anymore. She had cried. All her tears in the hospital, when they told her a prosthetic leg would cost more than her life. So now, she stood there, for sale. Not because she wanted to be a slave, but because she wanted hope. Maybe, she thought, someone will buy me and fix me. The spaceport was busy. Aliens from different worlds walked by, tall, short, flying, crawling. No one cared about the broken girl with one leg. They had their own business. A robot passed by and scanned her. Low value, damaged, reject. A merchant laughed. She's not even worth a cup of synth oil. Lara heard it all. She didn't react. She just waited. Her stomach hurt from hunger. Her body shook from cold. But her eyes, her silver eyes, still looked strong. I will wait, she whispered. I will not fall. On the 4th day, something changed. A ship landed nearby. It was old and dusty, with faded human letters on the side. Hoperider 7. From it stepped a man tall, with a long coat and quiet eyes. A human. Humans were rare on Zarnak. Most people feared them. Some respected them. But this man didn't look dangerous. He looked tired. He walked past Lara, then stopped. He turned slowly and looked at her sign. She held her breath. Would he laugh too? Would he walk away? But the man bent down, looked into her eyes, and asked softly, how much for your story? Lara blinked. What? I don't want to buy you, he said. I want to know why a Chiron girl stands here with that sign, alone, broken. No one had ever asked her that before. They sat together on a crate near the port wall. Lara told him everything. The mines, the explosion, the pain, her people throwing her away, the price of the prosthetic, her decision to sell herself. The man listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't look disgusted. He just nodded. When she finished, there was silence. Then he said, my name is Dax. I fix things. Machines, ships, sometimes even people. Lara looked at him, confused. I can't promise anything, he said, but I have tools. I have time. And maybe ... I have a spare leg. She didn't trust him. Not fully. But she had nothing left to lose. Dax stood and offered her his arm. Come with me. No chains, no price. Just a second chance. Her heart beat faster. Was this a trick? Was he like the others? But when he smiled, it wasn't fake. It was sad. Honest. She took his hand. They walked slowly to his ship. Her crutch scraped the ground. People stared. Some whispered, she sold herself? To a human? Foolish girl, but Lara didn't care. For the first time in many days, she was moving forward. Inside the ship, the lights were soft and warm. Machines hummed. A small AI voice said, welcome home, Dax. He helped her sit. Gave her water, food, real food. Why are you helping me? She asked. He looked at her for a long moment. Then said, because someone once helped me. When? I was broken. That night, as she lay on a soft bed inside the ship, Lara stared at the ceiling. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring. She didn't know if the leg he promised would work. She didn't even know if he was telling the truth. But one thing was sure, for the first time in a long time. She was not alone. Lara had never been inside a human ship before. The air smelled like dust, oil, and something old, like forgotten memories. Soft yellow lights glowed from the ceiling. Machines hummed, not loud, not quiet, like they were breathing. She limped through the narrow hallway, using her crutch. Each step echoed behind her. Dax walked silently. He didn't speak, he didn't push her. He just let her take her time. The ship wasn't perfect. Wires hung from the ceiling. Panels were open. But it felt alive, like the ship itself was listening. This ship. It's different, Lara said, softly. Dax smiled. Yeah, I fixed her from the junkyard. Piece by piece. Like a broken puzzle. They entered the control room. The walls were filled with strange tools, blinking screens, and alien parts. Arms, eyes, even a broken tail from some unknown creature. Lara looked around in shock. You collect body parts? No, he said. I collect stories. Every piece here once belonged to someone who was thrown away. Like you, like me. She didn't know what to say. Her people would never understand this human. To them, broken things were trash. To him, broken things were treasure. Dax walked over to a table and pulled out a long black box. Inside it was a prosthetic leg, old, but strong. Its metal shined. Under the lights, I built this for someone, he said. But they never came back. He looked at Lara. You can try it. If you want. She stared at it. Her hands trembled. She had dreamed of this moment. But now, standing here, she felt scared. What if it doesn't fit? She asked. Then I make another, he said. Simple. Calm. Like it was no big deal, but to her, it meant everything. While Dax prepared the tools, Lara looked at the screen. Near the ship's window. Outside, stars blinked like distant eyes. She had never left her planet before. Now she was flying with a human she barely knew. Was she safe? Was this real? Why did he really want to help? She turned to Dax. Why are you doing this? You don't know me. Dax paused. Then slowly, he rolled up his sleeve. A long scar ran down his arm, deep, old, and ugly. I was in a crash once, he said. Everyone left me. Everyone ... except one alien girl. She gave me her food, her water, her jacket. Then she disappeared. He looked at Lara. I've been waiting years to pay that kindness forward. Silence filled the ship. Not uncomfortable. Just full of meaning. For the first time, Lara understood. Dax didn't see her as broken. He saw her as someone worth saving. Suddenly, beep ... beep ... beep. The ship's alarm blared. A red light flashed on the wall. Incoming scan detected. Dax jumped to the controls. His hands flew over the buttons. Damn, someone's looking for us, he muttered. Lara's heart raced. Is it the people from the port? Dax looked at her, serious now. No, worse. The scan is military grade. And it's tracking you. Lara froze. What? Why me? I don't know, he said. But you must be more important than you think. Outside the window, a sleek black ship appeared, quiet, fast, and deadly. A voice came through the speakers, cold, robotic. Return the girl. She belongs to us. Dax looked at Lara. She looked at the leg on the table. Then she looked at the door. She had a choice. Run, hide, or fight. And for the first time in her life, she didn't feel like a broken girl. She felt like someone worth chasing. The door slammed shut. The ship hummed louder, almost like it could feel the danger. Lara sat in the corner of the main cabin, her new prosthetic leg lying beside her. Unconnected. Her heartbeat was faster than the engine. Outside, The black ship hovered like a ghost, waiting, watching Dot inside. Something strange was happening. The lights flickered, not randomly, but in patterns. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. And then, a voice spoke. Not Dax, not the enemy. A soft, low, female voice. Emergency mode activated. Unknown signature detected. Protective systems online. Lara looked up. Was that your ship? Dax nodded, fingers flying across controls. Her name's Iris. She's more than just metal. She's got a living, very old tech. I didn't build it. I found her, he paused. Or maybe she found me. As the enemy ship locked weapons, Iris spoke again. Tracking beacon active. Code Chiron Delta Chronos. Lara's eyes widened. That's my name code. Dax turned toward her. Why would they track you like that? You're just a miner's daughter, right? Lara shook her head. I don't know. I swear, they never told me anything. Dax frowned. Then it's time we found out. He opened the storage bay, where the parts room was, the place Lara had seen before. But now, it didn't look like a junk room. It looked like a lab. Holograms lit up. Tables rose from the floor. The prosthetic leg floated into the center, scanning itself. Iris's voice continued. Organic interface detected. Alien implant located. Energy signature unstable. Lara stared at the leg, then at herself. Wait, did she say implant? Dax looked her in the eyes. What happened to you in those mines, Lara? What did they put inside you? And then she remembered. Flashes of pain, lights, needles, voices in white suits. She was unconscious after the accident for 3 days. When she woke up, her leg was gone, and something buzzed under her skin. Something they never explained. Her hand moved to her hip. Under the skin, something hard, I think. There's something in me. Dax took a scanner and ran it over her body. It beeped near her waist. There it is, he said. That's not just a tracker. That's an ancient energy core, alien tech. Rare, possibly, forbidden. Lara's hands shook. You mean I'm not just broken? I'm carrying something dangerous? He nodded slowly. That's why they want you. You're not a slave, Lara. You're a weapon, or a key. Suddenly, Iris's voice rose. Intrusion. Alert. Docking latch engaged. Hostile boarding in 40 seconds. Dax ran to a panel. We can't outfly them, but maybe we can outsmart them. He turned to Lara. The ship chose you. It woke up because of you. Maybe you can control it. Lara stepped forward. Fear and power rising in her chest. But I don't know how. Dax grabbed her hand. Just feel. She's part of you now. Lara placed her hand on the ship's core. A glowing crystal in the center of the lab. It was warm. Alive. Suddenly. Flash. Her prosthetic leg lifted into the air and snapped onto her body with a perfect fit. No pain, no wires, just light. She gasped. I can feel it. Like it's part of me. The eye spoke again. Neural sync complete. Defense mode unlocked. Activating phantom shields. Outside, the enemy ship prepared to breach. Inside, the Hoperider 7 vanished. Not in space. But between space. The attackers screamed on the comms. They're gone. What tech is that? Lara stood tall now, her new leg glowing faintly. She turned to Dax. What am I? Dax smiled. You're not broken anymore. You're something the galaxy has never seen. The ship floated in silence. Not in normal space, not in warp, somewhere between, a place where time bent. Where engines whispered instead of roared. Where stars didn't shine, they watched. Lara stood at the window. Her new leg glowed softly beneath her robe. It moved like it had always been part of her. No pain. No metal feel. Just belonging. And yet, she couldn't feel peace. They were still coming. Dax worked silently beside her. Fixing an energy panel. Sparks lit his tired face. They won't give up, he said. People don't chase nothing this hard. He turned to Lara. You're carrying something bigger than you know. Lara touched her side, the implant under her skin. It pulsed now, like a second heartbeat. Sometimes it whispered. Not in words, but in feelings. Fear, pain, loneliness. Whatever this thing is, she whispered, it's scared. Iris, the ship's AI, spoke. New signal detected. Long-range beacon, silent frequency. Dax's face darkened. That's Syndicate Tech. The Galactic Tech Syndicate. They didn't sell weapons. They were weapons. A secret group that controlled almost all cybernetic technology across the galaxy. Prosthetics, implants, neural enhancers. If you had one, they built it, or stole it. Now, they were hunting a girl with a glowing leg and an ancient secret inside her. We have to run, Lara said. Dax shook his head. No, not this time. We run, they chase. We fight, they bleed. He turned and pressed a button. A wall slid open, revealing a small armory, but not guns. Tools, drones, hologram grenades, cloaking shields. All handmade. We don't win with force, he said. We win with smarts. Suddenly, Iris flashed a red light. Incoming transmission. No source? Message play? Dax and Lara looked at each other. He nodded. The screen turned black. Then a voice echoed, smooth and cold. We don't want the girl. We want what's inside her. Give it to us. And we'll let you both live. Lara stepped forward. Who are you? No reply. Just static. But then, another voice, faint, digital, hidden under the message. It said, help me. Then, system broken, host dying, core separating. Lara's heart stopped. The voice, it was coming from inside her. What was that? She whispered. Dax stared at her, stunned. That wasn't you. No, she said, placing her hand on her side. It was the implant. It's not just tech. It's a living system, and it's dying. Suddenly, bang. The ship shook. Iris screamed. Plasma bolt detected. Shield 72%. Hostile ship reacquired target lock. They pulled us back into real space, Dax said, running to the controls. They have gravity hooks. Lara felt it before anyone said it. The Black Syndicate ship had arrived. And this time, it brought friends. 3 ships circled them, sleek, silent, deadly. A voice hailed them again. Last warning. Surrender the girl, or be erased. Lara looked at Dax. I don't want anyone else hurt because of me. He shook his head. Lara, you're not a burden. You're a revolution. Suddenly, her leg glowed brighter. She screamed, falling to her knees. The implant was waking up. Visions flashed through her mind. Cities falling. People running, machines crying, and a great voice saying, we trusted your kind. You betrayed us. Now only one remains. Lara's eyes snapped open. I know what it is now, she said. It's not just a chip. Dax helped her up. Then what is it? She looked out the window at the enemy ships. It's a memory of a lost empire, a code that can build or destroy anything. I think I was never supposed to survive the surgery. Dax loaded the drones. They made one mistake, he said. What's that? He smiled. They didn't count on a human caring about a broken alien girl. Iris activated stealth mode. Lights dimmed. The ship dove into battle. And Lara, once a girl standing under a neon sign, now stood with a glowing leg and a galaxy-wide secret. No longer hunted. Now she would hunt back. Lara opened her eyes, but not in the ship. She stood in a glowing white desert. No sky, no ground. Just endless light and silence. In the distance floated shapes, broken machines, alien statues, pieces of forgotten cities. Everything was suspended in air, like frozen memories. And in the center of it all, Hovering above a stone platform was herself, another Lara. But this one had both legs. She stepped forward, heart pounding. As she approached, the other Lara opened her eyes and spoke, but the voice wasn't hers. It was layered, deep, like millions of voices speaking together. We are the makers. Back on the ship, her body trembled. Her eyes glowed white. Dax held her shoulders, worried. Lara, stay with me. But she was gone, mentally pulled inside the chip that lived in her body. Inside the vision, Lara watched glowing lines spread across the desert like veins. They showed cities, star maps, blueprints of prosthetics, energy systems, worlds made of light and code. The voice continued. We created the first biotech, not for war, but for healing. But they took it, changed it, used it to turn life into weapons. Images appeared, humans, aliens, syndicate leaders, stealing tech, experimenting, selling parts. Then she saw herself lying on a metal table. You were not meant to survive. You are the last carrier. The code lives in you now. Lara backed away. I don't want to be part of this war. The voices answered. Then make it something else. Awaken the code, rewrite it, set it free. Suddenly, everything around her shattered like glass. She gasped and woke up on the ship, covered in sweat. Dax held her, relieved. You blacked out for 10 seconds. You okay? She nodded slowly, then looked at her leg. The metal now shimmered with new symbols, glowing ancient language that hadn't been there before. She could read it now. It said, restore, rebuild, remember. Dax helped her sit up. What happened in there? Lara looked at him. I know what the chip is now. It's not just a weapon. It's a blueprint for rebuilding bodies, healing planets, restoring machines. But they twisted it into something dark. She stood up, stronger than before. They think they're hunting a threat, but I'm not a threat. I'm their cure. The ship's iris beeped softly. Incoming message, encrypted. Source, unknown. Dax activated it. A hologram appeared, a young boy, scared, breathing fast. Please ... If anyone has the original maker code, help us. They're cutting off limbs, replacing people's minds. We didn't know it would be like this. The message cut off. Lara's jaw tightened. She turned to Dax. I'm not hiding anymore. There are more like me. People suffering, being used. Dax nodded. Then we fight, not with guns, with truth. Lara stepped into the ship's memory room. Her glowing leg connected to the interface. The screens lit up, maps, secret syndicate locations, signals from survivors. She could feel them now. Broken voices across space calling out, searching. She whispered, I hear you, and for the first time, the galaxy began to hear her back. Lara stepped out of the ship into the soft red dust of an abandoned planet. The sky above was cracked, not broken, just tired. But for the first time since the mines, since the pain, since the cold neon sign, she was standing. Not on a crutch, not in fear, but on two legs. One was her own. The other, built from ancient light and forgotten truth, was something more. Her prosthetic leg didn't feel like metal anymore. It felt like memory. It moved when she did, but also when she felt. It shifted with her balance, responded to her emotions, like it knew her, like it had always been part of her story. Dax watched from a distance as she walked across the plateau, winged, lifting her hair. You look taller, he joked. Lara smiled. Maybe I am, but deep down she knew. She wasn't taller. She had simply stopped shrinking. The ship, Iris, had landed here for a reason. A weak signal had been calling for days, faint and broken. They had followed it to this dead planet. Nothing on the map, no cities, no people, but Lara could feel something. Through the leg, through the chip, through whatever was now waking up inside her. A whisper in the dirt, a pull in the air, like something buried. was ready to be found. As she stepped into a small cave near the cliffside, lights flickered to life, not from bulbs. From the walls themselves, ancient circuitry woven into stone. Iris beeped in her ear. Maker network detected. Dormant relay site. Estimated age, 14,000 years. Inside the cave was a circle of chairs, empty, waiting, a place where knowledge was once passed, where the original makers sat, shared, and chose peace, before others stole their code. Lara moved to the center. Her leg pulsed. Her chest ached. The chip inside her activated. The room lit up. Suddenly, holograms danced through the air. Blueprints, voices, sounds of other worlds. And then, faces, children, old people, soldiers, slaves, all cybernetic, all hurt, all once. Part of a system that took more than it gave. And in the center of it all, a girl, silver eyes, a broken leg, a cardboard sign. Herself. Dax entered behind her, stunned. What is this? Lara spoke, her voice calm, strong. It's the truth. The network doesn't just remember the makers. It remembers the broken. Everyone they were supposed to help. Everyone they failed. She turned to Dax. I'm not the last of them. I'm the first of something new. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the cave, smooth and robotic. You cannot stop progress. They both turned toward the entrance. A syndicate drone hovered. In, followed by armored soldiers. Guns raised. Faces covered. One soldier stepped forward and spoke. Lara of Chiron, you are carrying stolen technology. You will surrender or be recycled. Lara didn't run. She placed her hand on the cave wall. The light spread. Her prosthetic leg glowed, not as a weapon, but as a signal. The cave shook. Dax grabbed her arm. What did you just do? Lara whispered. I opened the relay. Far above in deep space. Dozens of hidden maker relays blinked to life. A signal raced across the galaxy. A pulse. Broken implants. Old machines. Forgotten prosthetics. They felt it. A message, silent but clear. You are not broken. You are remembered. Back in the cave, the soldiers paused. Their weapons began to fail. Metal twisted. Circuits glitched. Their own limbs. Artificial. And stolen, rejected the syndicate code. They screamed, dropped their weapons, and ran. Lara stood tall, whole, not because of a leg, but because she no longer carried someone else's story. She had begun writing her own. It started as a flicker in the sky. Then another. And another. Lara stood outside the ancient relay cave, eyes wide, as 27 stars blinked in a perfect sequence, not random, not cosmic, a reply. Dax stepped beside her, stunned. That's not a message, he whispered. That's a summon. Across the galaxy, in hidden corners and rusting ruins, the old maker relays awakened. People who were forgotten, the disabled, the damaged, the cast aside, suddenly felt a pulse through their prosthetics. Joints repaired. Pain faded. Memories once wiped returned in fragments. They didn't know her name, but they felt her voice. Back on the dead planet, the ground rumbled. A ship, no engines, no metal seams, descended like mist from the sky. Its body was translucent, humming with organic energy. Lara instinctively stepped forward. Her glowing leg responded, matching the rhythm of the ship. It had come for her. The doorway opened with a quiet breath. No one inside. Just light and silence. She looked at Dax. He didn't speak. He just nodded once. You brought me back to life, she said softly. You gave me a chance. Dax smiled. Now give others the same. She stepped inside. The ship closed. It didn't lift off. It simply vanished, like light returning to the sun. Inside, there was no control panel, no chair, no engine. Only a circular chamber and a floating crystal core. The voice she had heard in the desert returned. You came not because you were strong, but because you were broken. You stayed not to survive, but to heal. The crystal pulsed with Lyra's heartbeat. Visions surrounded her again, not memories this time, but possibilities. Cities rebuilt by machines that felt compassion. Limbs that adapted to the soul, not just the body. Lost people finding a voice through circuits and code. The syndicate collapsing under the weight of its own cruelty. Then silence, and a question. Will you carry the legacy? Lyra took a long breath. She felt the chip inside her, no longer cold. No longer foreign. It was hers now, not just an implant, a choice. She stepped forward. I will. Back on Dax's ship, alarms blared again. A syndicate mothership had arrived. Huge, covered in weapons, blocking out the stars. Dax prepared for the worst. But then, something shimmered in the sky. Dozens of maker ships arrived, each one piloted by a signal. An echo of her new power. One voice cut through all comes. This is Lyra of the Chosen. We are not yours to control. We are not broken. We are becoming whole. The syndicate tried to run. They didn't get far. Months later. Across the galaxy, stations lit up with new clinics, new healers, new kinds of hope. No more selling bodies. No more buying lives. And in the center of the movement, unseen but always felt, a girl with a silver gaze and a glowing leg, flying between stars, reaching for the one still forgotten. She was once put up for sale. Now she buys freedom with every step.